In this video, I'm going to walk you through one of the very best accidental death insurance policies available today. I'll do a quick overview on the policy and then even show you how you can apply right online and be covered in the next 10 minutes. Stay with me and we'll dive right in. Assurity is a great insurance company. They have over a 130-year history dating back to 1890. They're very highly rated, and this particular accidental death insurance policy is very competitively priced. It's one of the best priced policies available, and you can customize it with optional benefits to enhance the coverage that the policy offers. And as I mentioned before, you can apply right online without even talking to an agent. So why do we need accidental death insurance? Well, accidents are the #1 cause of death for those aged between 1 and 44 years old, and it's the 4th leading cause of death overall in the United States. Accidental death insurance is less expensive than regular life insurance. For instance, if we are purchasing a $300,000 30-year term policy for a 45-year-old healthy male, the life insurance policy would cost $58.62 per month, whereas we could spend $32.71 for an accidental death policy, and that will provide coverage for an additional 5 years to age 80, and that would save you over $9,300 over the 30-year term. Okay. A lot of people have life insurance and they just want a little bit of extra coverage, so this is a great way to add some accident coverage to your existing life insurance that you may have. And if you can't qualify for life insurance, this policy, you can qualify for this policy. There's no health questions and there's no exam. Anyone can qualify for it. And as a side note, if you're in this boat where you can't qualify for regular life insurance, in addition to this accidental death policy, we also have a hybrid policy that acts like accidental death for the first year, and then it begins to transition over to life insurance. So reach out if you need help with this option as well. So some of the highlights of this product, you can get between $5,000 and $350,000 of death benefit. You have to be between ages 18 and 70 in order to get this policy. If you are over 70, I do have one option that will work. You can reach out to me for that. And what this policy does is it pays if there's an accidental death, whether or not you are at work or not at work, this policy will pay out. And it includes 2 benefits and no extra charge. There's a common carrier benefit, and this will double the benefit amount if death results from an accident while riding as a fare-paying passenger on a common carrier like a bus, plane, or boat. So if you have a $350,000 policy and something happens on a plane, your heirs would get $700,000 paid out. And it also includes an automobile seatbelt benefit, which pays an additional 10% if death results from an accident while driving or riding in a car and while wearing your seatbelt. Okay. As I mentioned, I'm here to help, so feel free to reach out with any questions. But if you just want to get your accidental death insurance applied for, you can click the link in the description below and take care of the application right now online without even talking to an agent. That's very unusual in the insurance world. The premiums, once you get a policy in place, will stay level and will not increase all the way until the policy ends at age 80. There's also a dismemberment and paralysis benefit, and that means if you don't die from an accident, but if you lose a hand or foot or sight or something like that, there's a whole list of things that would qualify for you to get at least half of the death benefit paid out while you're living. If you need coverage for your spouse or children, you can include that as well in this policy. And there's a bunch of optional riders that will just enhance your coverage even more with this policy. Now, this policy is not available in 5 different locations. If you live in New Mexico, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, New York, or the District of Columbia, this particular policy is not available, but we do have other accidental death policies if you live in one of those states. Then we can still help you with a different policy. Okay. This is very important. I've had some applications returned because the email address must match the person applying for coverage. So if we have John Anderson applying for coverage, and on your application, if his wife is trying to do the application for him and her email is stacy.anderson@gmail.com, they're not going to accept the policy. It's going to get kicked back. And the reason why is that you cannot fill out an application for someone else. So the person applying must sign their own application. And one test that the insurance company uses is that the email must match the person applying for coverage. So now I'm going to walk you through how to apply online. I'll show you what the application looks like, and I'll also show you how you can customize your policy with the different riders. Okay, so if you're on my website, you can actually click this button right here to go directly to the Assurity Accidental Death Insurance Plus application. And then on this blog post here that I wrote about the policy are all the details in terms of the different riders and how they work, even what the return of premium looks like. And you can also even go down here and download a sample policy. So all that's right here. And then once you click the application link, it'll take you to this page here. And let me walk you through the application and how it works. You'll pick out your state here, wherever you live. As long as it's an approved state, this Get Your Quote button will pop up. And then you put in your age here, male or female, you put that in. If you want coverage for your spouse or partner, if you click yes, it'll ask you for their age and gender. And basically, if you're applying for a $350,000 policy, your spouse would get the same coverage as yourself. And then the next screen asks you if you want coverage for your children. What's nice is one rider will cover all of your children. So even if you have 5 kids, they have to be between 15 days and 17 years old, but they can all be covered with just one rider for them. So you can choose yes or no here. And then this will pull up 3 different options of coverage, 150, 250, and 350. It'll show you what the monthly premium is. So you just select which one you want here. And then once it pulls up here on the screen, you can play with the slider if you want to see what the different premium is, if you change the amount of coverage, but it'll show you the according premium. And then if you go down here to where it says expand your coverage or add on to your coverage, these are the different riders that you can add on to your coverage. So if we look at the first one, it's the accident only disability income rider. And basically this will provide a monthly payout to you if you are disabled. So for some of those risky professions where it's hard to get coverage or hard to get disability coverage, this is a great way to get coverage. So let's say, for instance, it gives you the option to choose between $500 and $3,000 per month. So let's just say that we want to get the full coverage of $3,000. I'll ask you for your occupation, and then I'll ask you for your monthly income. And then there's just a few questions to answer. To ask, you do need to be working at least 30 hours per week in your primary occupation to get this coverage. And then it does ask you if you're working for the railroad. If so, then they limit the coverage to $1,500 per month. And then if you're a government employee, it limits it to $1,000 per month. But anyhow, you'd answer these questions. And if you hit save, it'll show you what the what your premium would go to with this on here. So just for this application, I'm going to turn it off, but you can choose that if you want. The return of premium riders, super important. This one, you pay more. As you can see here, the premium is going to go up to $56 a month. But again, if you keep the policy for a certain amount of time, you'll get all of your premiums back to you when you cancel the policy. So a lot of people kind of use this as a forced savings account. And then on my website, again, it'll kind of show you the schedule of how long you need to keep it in order to get back what percentage. But that's a great feature. I'm going to just leave that one on there. The critical accident rider, this pays a benefit if you're confined to a hospital from an accident. You can see how that affects the premium there. And then the last option is the disability waiver premium rider. And what this one does, if you choose this one, is that this will waive the policy premiums, but still keep it in force if you become disabled. And there's just one question. You do need to be working 30 hours per week at your primary occupation. And if you select that, if you hit save, this will show you what the according premium is. So once you get this to exactly where you like it with the amount of coverage and the benefits, then you just go down here to click apply now, And here's the application. It's just easy. Just put in your name here, phone number, you put in your email. Okay, and then on the next screen, I'll ask you for your address. So you put that in there. Then you click next. This just asks you if you want to add a secondary address. See, this is just if there was a notice or billing statement, they'll send it to another person too. Just make sure that your policy doesn't expire. You can choose yes or no. Ask you for where you were born, so you just put your state in here. Then it asks you if you're a U.S. citizen. If you're not a U.S. citizen, you do need to be a permanent resident. So one of these needs to be checked yes in order to qualify for the coverage. Otherwise, you will not be approved. And this is where you just put in your date of birth and then your social. Your social does have to match. I've had some, the insurance company will check some databases and your social does need to be your correct one. Otherwise, it'll get kicked back. And ask you if you have other accidental death or life insurance in force. If you select yes, then it's going to ask you to list the policy and if you're replacing it. But if you don't have other coverage in force, just click no and then hit next. And then this is where you would put in your beneficiary. So just put whoever that is in here. Put in your relationship. So as a parent or whoever, and then you put what percentage that they would get. And then if you want to add someone else, if you put 50% here, you could add another beneficiary at 50% as well. But you get your beneficiaries in, and then you can decide what kind of a payment frequency you want, monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, or annually. Set monthly. And then this is where you just simply put in your credit card information, and then you would click next. And that'll just take you to a review screen and then submit it. And then once you do, you're all set. The insurance application will go to Assurity. They'll typically prove it within a day or two, and then the policy will be emailed out to you. So anyhow, that's as simple as it is to apply online for accidental death insurance coverage. So any questions, please reach out. I would be happy to help, and we'll cover some more financial topics in the next video. Thank you.